So a day doesn't go by where news doesn't come in and certain people just continuously like to make themselves look stupid or inhuman. But more importantly, we have some good Starfield news for all those people that are saying that Starfield is bad, Starfield is dead, Starfield is doing absolutely horrendous. And what can I say? At this point, I'm expecting Reforged to make another stream saying Starfield 2026 or something coming to PS5 Pro, because it's actually due, because the news today is actually pretty awesome. But before we get stuck into that, let's have a look at our previous comments that did the rounds. Now, from our video about ponies hurt bad over Helldivers 2, we've got Ardent9422 again with the top comment here saying, "What gets me is the media narrative. PlayStation game, oh, this is a wonderful game and a great exclusive in PlayStation's library. Xbox game, oh, this is a wonderful game and deserves to be played by all players on all platforms. The media bias, my friends, is clear. I'm not the only one noticing it. You guys aren't noticing it. I think the only people that aren't noticing it are the people writing it. It's pretty sad and it does need to change." Next up, we have Neo Moon 7. Jellybean's Microsoft Xbox isn't playing around. 2247, no PlayStation anywhere. The ponies are now Nintendo gamers. And he's pretty much going all in with that one. And finally, we have Joantonio6331. For Final Fantasy VII, maybe people are getting tired of all those remake, remaster, remix, re-release, re-edition, re-this, re-that, and this is a good thing. Now, I will say the problem that I have with Final Fantasy VII Remake, essentially, is the fact that they've split it into 3 games and are triple dipping. In order for you to play this game fully, it is costing you £210. That's a lot of money. Or $210, however you want to look at it. But that's a lot for one game, and this is something that Sony has been looking to do as well with Spider-Man 3, where they want to split the first part of the game, the multiplayer, and the second part of the game, which basically makes one game into 3 installments and sell them at free, as free entries into the actual system. So they'll basically be triple dipping here. And essentially that is what Square Enix has done here with Final Fantasy VII. They should have just made this and made it one complete game. Whether it's 100 hours long or 150 hours long or 200 hours long, I don't really care. It should have been one product and released, but instead they are triple dipping with this, and I think that's the biggest problem that they have. But I do agree that we are seeing a lot of remakes. I don't mind a remake or a remake, I guess, of a game that was released back in, say, the Sega Saturn days, or, the PS1 days, back in the 1990s, tail end of the 1990s, or even like the early 2000s, right? We've got 20 years there. But yeah. Thank you very much to everyone who did leave a comment. I appreciate you. On with the video. So now we're looking at the big one over here. Of course, it's Starfield. And Dead at Nights has tagged me on this. Huge numbers for both Starfield and Fallout games. Phil Spencer, we know Xbox doesn't need PlayStation nor Nintendo. And we're seeing over here, Darius's tweet, over 5 million players was active on Starfield within the last 30 days. Not bad for a dead game, right? For a trash game that no one is playing, right? I just don't see the game dying. Online players 1 hour ago, as of the taking of the screenshot, was almost 300,000 active. And this is a single player game, right? This isn't Helldivers where it's a multiplayer game. We're talking single player. Active players, 30 days, 5.1 million. Starfield has gained over the last 30 days 238,000 players. Twitch watch time over the last 30 days has hit over 100,000, and peak viewers over 30 days 2,241. Now these are some quick stats from live player count at active player. Now these obviously aren't 100% fully accurate, but these are a good metric to go by. But it clearly shows that the game is doing remarkably well and is still being played, still being, purchased, and it's been a monumental success for Bethesda. So regardless of how people want to look at this and how people want to downplay this, especially the Camp Pony and their cronies trying to say that this game is trash, no one wants it, no one plays it, clearly all they're doing is the same thing that they did with Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush. Trash game, it comes over to PlayStation. Yes, man, this game is so good! You know, at that point, you can clearly see that the only reason these Neanderthals are actually, you know, actually that's an insult to Neanderthals, but the only reason they are actually insulting the game is because it's on Xbox. And if it was on PlayStation, it would have been their game of the generation. Insider Gaming, Fallout games get 200% player count boost amid TV show hype. On April 10, Fallout 4 had 43,000 peak from 18,000, and Fallout 76, 19,161 peak from 10,000. I was one of those people from Fallout 76. That's Fallout 76's highest peak player count on Steam since 2020, but Fallout 3 has seen even more growth than the last two titles from the franchise. Fallout 3 was from 2,501 peak from 813. So clearly the TV show has had a huge impact on this as well. So that is cool. So they've got both their Starfield games now booming. They've got their Fallout games now booming as well, with new players coming in through the TV show's hype. And the TV show is amazing, by the way. I'm about 3 episodes in now. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, it's just great stuff to see that Bethesda is now firing from all cylinders. Really cool stuff. Mr. Kima here posted, according to Resurgence UK, a site familiar with Activision news, there's a game in development by High Moon Studio that could be exclusive to the Xbox platform. Now, we don't know anything else about this other than the fact that High Moon Studios did have like a working relationship with Xbox, and then, well, they were part of it, and then they split after some workplace alleged issues, and High Moon went independent. But it does seem that that relationship is still ongoing in some form, and if it is exclusive, happy days. Next up, we have from Hazardous Gaming, Dragon of Dojima. Now, EA has been working on a Black Panther game for quite some time, and we don't really know much about it. We have seen the 1943, but that isn't this. This is a different game entirely, but apparently through this job listing from Cliffhanger Games for Black Panther, the game will have an open world setting. Now again, we really don't know much about this game other than the fact that it's a Marvel game, it's a Black Panther game, it's from EA, so the chances of it being multi-platform is extremely high because EA likes money, and money is good, and it makes the, you know, it allows for more development of more games. But, you know, it's interesting to see that they have opted for a open world setting as opposed to a linear setting. Now, how do you feel about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Would you prefer Black Panther to have an open world setting so you can kind of go where you want, or would you prefer a more directed, linear, story-driven game that, you know, still has its gameplay, its bells and whistles, but is more linear from point A to point B? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comment section below. So now we come to the nitty-gritty side of the internet. So I came across this discussion from Genki, who is supposed to be a neutral, right? Who says he loves all platforms, but it's clear that, you know, he may not be that into Xbox. And he says, I think Square Enix need to become more multi-platform going forward. Like Capcom, I expect them to announce that as part of the pipeline overhaul, mainly developing with more PC focus. AAA games that cost hundreds of millions are too expensive to limit to the audience at the moment, in my opinion. So Karen then jumps in here, and I know how you guys feel about him. Exactly, I kept saying this, Capcom made an incredible comeback with hit after hit. Multi-platform, day and date, everywhere really helps. Well, I wasn't really talking specifically about the Xbox, which your tweets give the sense of. More talking about PC, Switch, and so he immediately shut down any form of Xbox involvement in Square Enix. And this is why I want Phil Spencer to go and buy Square Enix. Because of people like him, because they will have a monumental meltdown. Xbox also, if they have the resources to do it, or support from Xbox, in my opinion. I never mentioned Xbox Genki. Which tweet are you referring to? I don't know. Just the vibes you give off with your tweets usually, but what's that got to do with anything that he's saying here? Although clearly Karim did mean to have Xbox in there as well. That's understandable, but you give the same vibes about PlayStation too. though with your tweets, and I never said anything sideways about it to you personally because I understand it's your job and there is nothing wrong with it. Because excitement about something you love is cool. I was just excited about more multi-plat talk, and you saying, yeah, I didn't mean Xbox, is a slap in the face. Exactly why I'm very vocal about my love for Xbox, because there isn't many of us and we get talked down on like that. PC, though this is supposed to say PlayStation, doesn't really offer support when games come to their console that I know of, so why is it different for Xbox? Well, that's not entirely true. Sony does quite often send, a team over to support people when they're making exclusive games. I'd never want to gatekeep a game on a console and keep others from playing it. Sony needs to move in that direction, which you have said. Now, I'm not exactly sure that statement there is true either. Either way, please don't take this negatively. I hope you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, I would like to see more Square Enix games on Xbox too, as long as it makes business sense. Now, this is the point where it doesn't make sense to me, right? Because why does it need to make business sense? It can't make business sense if you never release the game and don't build that, that audience. At the moment, you've starved the audience. You're releasing the scraps onto Xbox as Square Enix, and games multi-years down the line, and you're expecting them to go batshit crazy over your games. No, it doesn't work like that. If you want to build an audience on the platform, you need to start and releasing games day and date on that platform, even if it isn't a part of Game Pass. That's okay, but you need to build that audience. How can it make business sense if you don't release the games? So clearly here the bias is already showing, right? Just saying I wasn't talking about Xbox specifically to you because you were spreading fake Microsoft rumors, my Square Enix rumors. Well, again, how does he know it's fake? How does he know it's fake? Does he sit inside the Square Enix board? Is he inside the Microsoft board? God, I would absolutely love it if Phil Spencer and Microsoft bought Square Enix. That would just be, holy crap, that would be amazing, right? That would be so good if they actually bought it. But I wanted to end with this one over here, Harmon Smith, the Nintendo fanboy guy who's, this is sad, right? This is sad. He says, women serve no purpose other than having kids. Yikes. A woman without children is a failure and should be treated as such by society. No one cares about your career or education. How is this guy not even cancelled? I know he has some of the worst takes ever when it comes to video games. But for a dude to have an opinion like this, that's really disgusting. It's clear from his statement that he's never been with a woman, maybe a love doll that looks like a Nintendo female character like Princess Peach is the closest he's ever going to get, because at this point, banging a mushroom is only going to get him so far, right? But Jesus Christ, you can't be saying shit like this and thinking it's okay. No one should be saying shit like this and thinking it's okay. It's disgusting. But hey, ending on a good note, Starfield, the game that everyone said is bad. Expect another stream from Reforged Gaming because he is going to chime into that like there's no tomorrow. Starfield confirmed for PS5 Pro 2026. I bet it's going to happen. I bet it's coming. It's like clockwork with that guy. But all I'm going to say here is those numbers are really healthy. And if they've got that many people playing, happy days, man. Starfield is doing better than I actually imagined. And this is without the official mod support or the DLC. Can you imagine when the official mod support drops and the DLC drops? This game is going to be flying. And just like it deserves. Anyway, folks, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.